Hey, what's going on? And welcome back for another episode for Just a Bet Outside. It is one of our favorite divisions, the AL West preview, baby. It is time. This is a special division, and not only because it has the greatest team ever made, the Seattle Mariners, in it, but it's got a lot going on. We got a lot to unpack. We're going to give out best bets, the predictions. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's start out real quick before we do dive in, though. Smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. Thank you guys for all the support. Let's grow a little baseball community. I know I got a lot of NBA followers, but it's baseball season now, so let's get going on that. Here we go. Last season, the Astros 106-56, Mariners 90-72, and then everybody else sucked. Angels 73 wins, Rangers 68, and the A's 60. Let's pull up the divisional odds to win this sucker. Look at those odds on the Houston cheating trash can Astros, minus 180. Plus 310 on the Seattle Mariners. We are not going to be biased if you can't tell. Angels plus 850, and they are tied with the Rangers plus 850. And then the A's. I don't even know if there's more zeros behind that odds or if I just ran out of room, but it's ugly. They suck. Let's move on. Let me tell you a little bit about why this is a special division before we dive in. Let me just tell you a few things that we have in this division. The Rangers are projected to make the biggest jump in the American League. They won 68 last year, and their over-under for wins is now 82.5. That's a 14-15 game jump. That's huge. Astros, defending champs. We all know about the Astros. We'll talk about them here in a second. We're not going to waste much time on the A's, by the way, in this video. Two of the top players in the league are in this division and on the same team. And also, the Rookie of the Year, Mr. Julio Rodriguez, the man himself, is also in this division. There is a lot going on. Also, Jacob deGrom has joined the AL West, or at least the bench after he gets hurt. But let's dive in, and let's start out with the Houston Astros. You are looking at three people that absolutely hate the Astros. I mean, with a passion. But we're going to talk about them with a clear mind, right, guys? And they won their first championship last year. See what I did there? That was their first championship. That's right. The other one didn't count. They have the highest projected win total in the American League. Again, they keep just rolling in with these stud players every year. They lost Yuli Gurriel, who not a big loss, and Cy Young winner Justin Verlander is out of the division finally. But they instead of Gurriel, they signed Jose Abreu. He did lose some power. And by the way, I don't know if you guys knew this. Jose Abreu is 36 years old. He only hit 15 bombs last year, but still hits for a good average. There's a lot to say about this team, but I will kick it to you first, Kai. What do you think about this Astro team?
Well, they are really, really, really good. Sadly, their starting pitching staff, unbelievable. Their bullpen, unbelievable. Their lineup, unbelievable. And they have a really cool manager in Dusty Baker. They are loaded, and they should be favorites to win this division. They should be favorites to win the World Series. They are that good.
Ouch. How hard was that to say?
The hardest thing I've ever had to say in my life.
But, and also, by the way, just to let you guys know, anybody heard the term BABIP? It's a stat. It's batting average for balls in play, right? It kind of tells you if you're lucky or unlucky. They were actually 25th last season. So they should get even better this year in their lineup. They were rarely unlucky. But I just want to throw that random stat out there for you. They won a World Series with one of the worst batting averages of balls in play. This starting pitching is freaking loaded. Jake, you want to talk about anybody in particular in this starting rotation?
I wish I knew how to say his name, but the lefty, Framber.
Well,
There you go.
Yeah.
That guy is I just love that he's like 5'8", like 240, and he can not only throw some sauce, but he's in the zone all day. I don't like saying anything good about the Astros, but I do like watching that guy throw. I liked that he backed up Verlander, but was better than him. I'm just hoping he can stay. I'm just hoping he can stay healthy. I mean, yes, did Verlander win the Cy Young? Yes, he did. But
minor detail, yeah.
Minor detail. But is he a rookie or is he a second year?
No,
having
Valdez has
20
been, I think, at least a couple years, few years, right?
has it been a
Kai, do you
couple,
know? Is he his third year now? I don't know.
all I
Are
know
we
is he had
sure we
28.
want him to stay healthy?
No, okay. I'm just saying from a
but,
what did you
but
say we had to do? An unbiased
yes,
position.
that's right.
Uh,
Framber Valdez, to your point, he set the record for the most quality starts in a season. The record.
what was it? Is it 28 or
I have no idea. That would have been a good stat to put on my notes, but I didn't do it. He
after you
just
said
set the
he set the
record
record
though.
for it?
That's insane though. That just shows like this is the guy who just gets it done every single time. He's as consistent as it gets. He's one of the elite ground ball pitchers in the league. He just has all his freaking pitches sinking down, and it's just hard to hit. But like you said, like he's just this 5'8" little guy who just gets it done. He's kind of a grinder. But
Yeah.
Christian Javier, if you don't know him yet, get to know him because he's a freaking stud. He's a big strikeout guy. He had under a 3 ERA last year, and he just signed a big 5-year deal. I hate to say it, guys, but the Astros, they let Verlander go for a reason. They got guys everywhere. Luis Garcia is the one with the extremely weird windup who like does 3 windups. He has to change it. Yep, exactly. He has to. I hate it, by the way, in MLB The Show. If you play that video game, you're sitting there for like 5 minutes waiting for the pitch to come. Kind of just throws you off. But he has to change his windup because of the new rule changes and all that. So that's kind of funny. But and they still got Lance McCullers. He's going to be good for half a season. He just gets himself hurt all the time. And a guy named Hunter Brown. You ever heard of him, Kai? You know, little Hunter Brown?
Yeah,
He's a country singer, right?
He's
Houston, right?
Yeah, that's it. I like Hunter Brown.
Apparently, he's the next Justin Verlander.
Yeah, apparently. We'll see. Yeah, I was the next Michael Jordan, too, when I was in middle school. Hunter Brown.
The next Robinson Cano.
Lazy middle infielder? Is that what you're saying?
Hello.
That's how I played in the Little League, man. Just left.
But real quick on Hunter Brown, he's a stud. He averaged 96.5 miles an hour on his fastball as an average. And he only threw 20 innings for the Astros last year. He had a .89 ERA, if you like that kind of thing. But he is a stud young prospect. This team is absolutely loaded. They had the number 1 bullpen last year. And to me, this bullpen was one of the biggest reasons why they won the World Series. It goes untold. But when we were playing them in the playoffs, every single bullpen guy that came in was just filthy. And I think I was texting you, Jake, about it maybe during the series, or we talked about it before. It's like, dude, every single guy coming in is just ridiculous. And they didn't lose anybody. They're returning everyone. So this bullpen and starting rotation is going to just keep them right in the mix for a World Series every freaking year. I hate it, but this team is good. Now, their lineup real quick. If you really go through it, they only have one bad hitter in their lineup, Martin Maldonado. Other than that, with guys like Altuve still got it. Alex Bregman, who has the most punchable face in Major League Baseball. Oh, my God. And then you just got all these Yordan Alvarez, who hit a ball that will forever haunt my dreams. And Jose Abreu now, they're just loaded. Kyle Tucker. I mean, this team, Michael Brantley comes back. He's a notorious 290, 300 hitter. It's stupid, guys. It's an embarrassment of riches. And the only thing I can hope is that injuries. Okay, I can't hope injuries, can I? I can in the privacy of my own home.
I hope.
Go ahead.
Half that team gets caught with steroids.
Yeah, that's a better way. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, guys. This team is just loaded. Everywhere, they're freaking loaded. I have weaknesses here, and it's nothing because they don't have one. Yeah. So I'm not saying we're screwed as Mariner fans, but I was hoping the Astros were going to start falling off as the Mariners were coming up. That is not happening yet. But it is hard to have a good season and have luck and everything go your way after you've won a World Series. There's a reason it's not easy to do it 2 years in a row. So that's the only thing we got going for us is that maybe they're not as hungry. They have a down year. That's all we got. But that is the Houston Astros. Over under 95.5 wins. Probably lean over. I'm not going to lie. They're probably going to be near 100 wins. But you guys got any opinion on that?
Well, I mean, it's really tough to say. Once we figure out, I think, what you're doing with those extra 24 division games.
Does it matter? For the Astros?
I mean, in reality, it does, because if you're going to peg them 12 to 16 games against the Central, there's 12 to 16 more W's. I mean, I don't see I don't, maybe the Guardians, if they're, they play their very best game, but if it's in Houston, we haven't even talked about that crackerjack box of a stadium. Ball flies out of there. I mean, you show up and you're not going to win. It's ridiculous, but I can see over, but like you said as well, I can see an under with them just not being as hungry as they were last year, and maybe just taking a game off or two. Not necessarily on purpose, but just letting some slip through their fingers, and maybe it's 94, right? But
yeah, no,
that's all you got to be at.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no bet for me. I mean, the line's about right. Yeah, it is what it is. Kai, you got anything you think they're going to be right around this total?
Yeah, they're probably better.
Yeah, that sucks. He says it with a big smile. Speaking of a big smile from Kai, you're about to get it. It is time, gentlemen. We've been waiting all night for this. The Seattle Mariners. Last season, 90 and 72 for our boys. Do we know what the over-under is this year? They project us at 87.5 to get worse than last year. They broke their 20-plus year drought of making the playoffs and then decided to go beat the team from Canada 2-0 and shove it up their bleep before losing to the Astros. Off-season, they lost Mitch Haniger and Adam Frazier. Oh, my God, Adam Frazier. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Get the heck out of here. You are freaking awful. They added Mr. Teoscar Hernandez from that Canadian team and Colton Wong. He will replace Adam Frazier at second base, which is a good upgrade. I don't think he's that great, but he's a good upgrade. I mean, it was going to be a hole in our lineup, and I don't mind the signing. So we have now won 90 games in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2002, 2003, when me and Jake were in high school, and Kai was not in high school. That's for sure. Seattle Mariners, I'll get into strengths and weaknesses and all that, but Kai, what do you love about this team? Just talk some Mariner baseball for me.
The starting rotation, arguably top 10 right now. It's going to be top 5 when we replace Marco Gonzalez in our 5th spot with a young man named Emerson Hancock, who's been hyped up for years. I am very excited to see him. He's looked pretty good in spring. This bullpen, it's been elite for 2 years now for sure. I mean, in 2021, they were arguably an elite bullpen, and I honestly don't even remember the guys that were in that bullpen. It just seems like Jerry DePoto knows what he's doing with these relief pitchers, and they all find their peak when they're pitching with us. I mean, we've seen guys go and be bad. We've seen guys that were bad come, and they've been very good. This lineup, I think, is a big improvement compared to where we were in the playoffs. We added Teoscar Hernandez, who I think is an automatic upgrade over Mitch Haniger. As good as Haniger is when he's healthy, he's not healthy at all. And I think Teoscar Hernandez is more reliable. I think Teoscar, although he's not great in the outfield, I think he's a better fielder than Mitch Haniger. And he crushes lefties. And yeah, we need that. Not much more I could say other than expect Jared Kelenic to hit 35 home runs. Colton Wong is also an upgrade over Adam Frazier. I know Colton Wong had a high in offensive production last year. I think he hit 16 home runs, batted around 255. But a couple years ago, Colton Wong was arguably one of the best second basemen in the league defensively. And we have an amazing infield coach named Perry Hill, who took Eugenio Suarez and made him a top 10 third baseman last year. And when we traded for Eugenio Suarez, they're like, yeah, he's going to hit home runs, he's going to bat low, but he's awful in the field. And he was not awful in the field. He was better. I think he was a better third baseman than JP was a better shortstop last year. And obviously we know we're getting from Julio, rookie of the year. Not even close. Like, he was the best rookie last year. We got Ty France, who I think is going to have a better year this year, hoping he doesn't get hit in the wrist again. And yeah, I just think that this team is a very solid roster, and I think that they could. The sky's the limit. That's all I say.
I like the unbiased opinion about the Seattle Mariners. Okay, I have something to say real quick. I am an upgrade over Adam Frazier. I just want to make sure that was clear. But
That's true.
Colton Wong is an upgrade. lot to unpack there. I agree with a lot of it. Bringing in the infield coach, like that's analysis right there. That's good stuff. I have been thinking about this starting five for a very long time. Like when you think about prospects, like 2 years ago, I didn't know we'd have Luis Castillo, obviously. But once we got Robbie Ray, I was like, dude, Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, by the way, may be the best of these young guys. He is so underrated and an unbelievable pitcher. He just finds the zone everywhere. And then you got Emerson Hancock. Like, guys, we have the ability. If Hancock is as good as he says, we already know Kirby is. Gilbert is a little off and on, but he's still a very good pitcher who can find an ERA in the threes. We have the ability to where the fourth and fifth starter are legitimate pitchers. Like this is as deep of a rotation as it gets. I'm excited for this rotation. Marco Gonzalez needs to go, like you said. He's just not the guy anymore. But he did well for a few years for us. But I just love George Kirby. Real quick on Mr. Kirby, 3.39 ERA. He is 95 percentile in walks. The guy doesn't walk anybody. I mean, it is unbelievable how good he was as a rookie in 130 innings pitched. You already mentioned Robbie Ray. We know what he brings to the table. Logan Gilbert, 3.2 ERA in 185 innings pitched. Sometimes it doesn't seem like that because he gets hit harder than George Kirby does. You look at all the advanced metrics, he gets hit hard, but Gilbert finds a way to get out of trouble, and he's good at that. And then Luis Castillo. I mean, he's a Cy Young candidate, guys. He is unbelievable. His slider is unbelievable. His fastball, how it moves, and how the speed that he has on it. He's just so fun to watch pitch. I'm so excited about this starting rotation. I don't know if this year's the year they're the top five, but I wouldn't be surprised if sooner rather than later this is a top tier rotation. Jake, what do you think about this team? What are you excited to watch?
I'm excited to watch what we do with our outfield. I feel like we have such a potentially deep outfield. And I mean, I thought last year was deep. And I feel like with the addition of Teoscar Hernandez, it's even better. Losing Kyle Lewis was a bummer just because former first round pick, such high hopes. He was we quote unquote the next Ken Griffey Jr. He was the face of the organization, and he just couldn't stay healthy. I wish him all the best on wherever he. I can't remember where he went, but
I don't remember either.
I mean,
Kai, do you know where Kyle Lewis went?
Kyle Lewis is playing for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
That's right. Okay, you're right.
That sucks for him. Okay.
I mean, why do the Mariners love sending guys to the Diamondbacks?
I don't know. When in doubt, send him to the
Taijuan
desert.
Walker, the
That's
shortstop kid.
Was it? Who was it? Brad Miller? No, I don't know. They're not Brad Miller. Someone else.
Brad Miller's
Kettle Marte.
Ketel Marte.
Yeah, there you
right.
go.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
Brad Miller's with the Rangers.
The Rays for a while. Yeah. Anyways, keep going. You digress.
But yeah, I digress. Excuse me. But Teoscar Hernandez, Julio, obviously, Kelenic, like Kai was talking about, on absolute fire this spring. We always give him a shot, so there's something. Sam Haggerty. I mean, I don't know if you guys love him or hate him.
I like him.
He's an absolute spark plug, right? Like he's just that guy that you don't really expect, and then bam, he does something. Whether it's leading off the inning with a double, getting on quick, stealing a bag, and scoring a quick run, and before you know it, bing, bing, boom, he's across the plate, making plays in the outfield. I think that was probably one of the biggest hurts the Mariners had last year in the playoffs was losing Haggerty in the Toronto series and not having him for the entirety of the Houston series. But I mean, that right there, they signed AJ Pollock. He's another outfielder, you know what I mean? Previous All-Star. So right there, you got 5 quality outfielders. You know what I mean? You have 2 All-Stars in Teoscar Hernandez and Julio, a former All-Star, an absolute prospect, for multiple years now in Kelenic, and a spark plug in Haggerty. So I'm excited to see what they do there. I do have one concern, and that's we only have 1 lefty in the bullpen right now. Lots of right-handed guys, 1 lefty. Not saying we need to have, half our bullpen needs to be left-handed, but do you have a lefty specialist? You count on another lefty, so maybe when we bring up this young kid, maybe Marco goes to the bullpen. I don't like losing him, but I mean, is he going to be able to handle that role? Is he made for it? He's not going to be a 1 or 2 inning guy, you know what I mean, type of thing. But can you throw him behind a guy like Luis Castillo or a Logan Gilbert for, an inning or two, just to that change of pace before you bring in, a Munoz or a Seawald? Because that would be ridiculous. Mid 90s to that, mid 80s from the left side with the changeup back to, the mid to upper 90s guy. Could be crazy, but I mean, obviously that's a lot of forward thinking for later. But those are my 2 things. Seeing what we can do with the outfield, just being completely loaded, and what we're going to do with that one lefty in the bullpen.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. I like all of it. So when you were saying Marco to the bullpen, I was like, there's no way the guy throws 87. But then how you were saying it's like, Marco gets figured out. He can get crafty, but then when he gets through the order, like the second time, third time, it gets pretty dicey. So maybe he is a guy that can come in and do 1 to 2 innings. Maybe and usually when you throw 1 to 2 innings, they train him to throw a little faster, because you just give it your all. So maybe he can stretch that fastball to 89, 90.
Yeah, maybe.
But here's the big thing for me, and it's the outfield. So we did this last year. I remember before the season, I was talking to someone, and I was like, dude, what are we going to do with this outfield? First, I thought Jesse Winker was going to be a stud, right? Was he? No. But Jesse Winker, Julio Rodriguez, Kyle Lewis, Mitch Haniger. I'm missing somebody. There's one other one. Anyways, one other stud. And I was like, how are we going to play all these outfielders? I just don't know how we're going to do it. And then guess what? It ended up where Kyle Lewis kept getting hurt and just didn't play well. Kelnick sucked really badly, went down to the minors. And then we had Winker was horrendous. He could only hit against righties, and even that was dicey. And so we ended up from having an embarrassment of riches in the outfield to, oh, okay, we're playing in the playoffs, and Sam Haggerty's our third best outfielder. Like, it was just bizarre. And listen, I have wanted to support Kelnick forever. I'm here for him. It is hard to hit in the majors. Every top prospect does not just hit right away. But he has looked absolutely horrendous so far in the majors. Let's stop thinking about the spring training. It's a good sign. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. But, guys, he is not a good major league player yet. He has not proved anything. And he's had some chances. I'm not saying give up on him. There's guys like Edgar Martinez that didn't start hitting and playing the majors till mid-20s. It happens. But, my God, he has to start doing something. He is not even a starting outfielder if you just base it on what he has shown us in the major leagues. I know it sucks to say. He is an X factor for this Mariner team, I think. If he can perform, not up to the number 1 player ever, prospect ever, if he can perform like a good major league player, that's going to be huge for this offense. I mean, then you throw him in with Julio and Suarez and all these guys, Ty France, like Teoscar. I mean, we're talking a good, deep lineup with Colton Wong at the end, which is a little better than Adam Frazier. To me, it's all about Kelnick. I know you guys I do this every year and I fall into it, so I'm not going to this year. He has to prove something to me for me to think we have an embarrassment of riches. But to your point, I like Sam Haggerty. I really do. I think he's a great piece to have on your team. But right now, yeah, without Kyle Lewis, man, I thought he was our future. That's just freaking bizarre. But yeah, Julio and Teoscar is a good combo. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I think I need to see more, and Kelnick needs to prove it. I've seen him do well in spring training before, and it means nothing. So that's what I got. What do you think, Kai?
Here's the thing about Kelnick. Like you were saying, he doesn't have to be the best player in the world. All he has to do, we already know he's a good defender. He's a pretty solid defender out there. He's a great arm.
Decent, yeah.
Yeah. He's better than not Mitch Haniger, Jesse Winker. He just needs to be better. I think this year, for starters, for Kelnick, he just needs to be better than Jesse Winker, 2022 Jesse Winker, and that's not a high bar at all.
No, but he needs to be better than that. If he's going to be just slightly above Jesse Winker, I want Haggerty. I'm going to be honest with you. Like,
that's
I want Haggerty out there. Yeah. So I hope he doesn't feel the pressure anymore, but maybe he feels more pressure. But, it was always him and Julio coming up, and Julio's had this quick success. Mentally, I don't know where Kelnick is at, but I can't imagine it being easy. Baseball is freaking hard, and you're expected to do all these great things, and you struggle, and you keep getting put down to Tacoma for the AAA team, and I don't know. I'm curious to see. But if he can bounce back and have a good year and get that Kelnick swag that he had when he first came up, which is this cocky, confident dude, you never know. The sky's the limit. It's a big mental game. But what's up?
Would you say that Kelenic is the difference from the Mariners winning? If he's good, the chances of winning the division. But if he's bad, we're probably just another wild card team again.
I do think one player could never make that, but I was going to say, I think the Mariners to actually win this division are a big bat away, but that doesn't mean we have to trade for a big bat. It just means somebody needs to step up and be that big bat. If Kelnick can be a decent 5-6 hitter in this lineup, when you can really stretch a lineup to where you don't have innings where it's like, well, this is a guaranteed 1, 2, 3, it makes a huge difference. It puts pressure on the pitchers. And so, yeah, I know we talked a lot about Jared Kelnick. We gave up a lot for him. We need him to be good. But I do think he's an X factor. Yeah, if we want to beat the Astros, guys, things have to go well. Our prospects have to play well. Our guys who have played well have to continue playing well. So we'll see. You know what I mean? Get us in the playoffs. I want to win the division badly, but just get us in. And I don't think they're going to have a problem getting in. But that's just my 2 cents. Anybody else got anything on this Mariners team? By the way, real quick, the bullpen, this is a crazy stat. They had the lowest exit velocity in Major League Baseball off of them at 86.8 miles an hour. Huge stat. So They weren't getting hit hard, obviously.
Next level metric.
Thank you. I made that metric up. Nobody else did. 5th in strikeout percentage and 5th in walk percentage. This bullpen was elite. That's another thing. Bullpens are up and down. We need our bullpen to be good again. You cannot to me, you can't guarantee a bullpen's going to be good again. You just can't. But Andres Munoz is going to be fun to watch. He throws 128 miles an hour. Matt Brash turned from starter to reliever. Sewald, I don't know who's going to be our closer, Sewald and Munoz, but I think Munoz will eventually take that role over. And Diego Castillo, he seems to get the job done, but I feel like I sweat and lose years off my life every time he steps on the mound. Something is just a little off. And then you got Chris Flexen. So I like the bullpen. I love the starters. To me, it's going to be about that lineup. But you guys got anything else to add about our Mariners as we have to move on? Because I heard that we actually have to talk about the whole division.
One last thing.
Yep.
All I'm going to say is look out for Bryce Miller.
Yep. Good young player coming up, too. That's right. Jake, what do you got?
Go Mariners.
Go Mariners.
Go Mariners, baby. All right, that's what we got. Mariners over under 87.5 wins. We may or may not have a bet on them at the end of this video. We will. All right, here we go. Team number 3, the Los Angeles Angels of Disneyland. Last season, 73 and 89. Over under 81.5 wins. They're projecting about 9 more wins for them. They have the best player of this generation. They have the best two-way player since Babe Ruth, and yet they haven't even had a winning season since 2015. That's right. Welcome to baseball. It's a team sport. This team is overrated every single freaking season. I heard it last year in all the baseball podcasts and talks that the Angels are making the playoffs. They're finishing second. They suck, guys, and they still suck. I'm here to tell you, they suck, okay? Their offseason, they added Brandon Drury. The one thing they did well is they added depth to their lineup this year. Brandon Drury is a good player. Gio Urshela, Hunter Renfroe, they added some pieces. And Tyler Anderson, starting pitcher. That's a good add. But their strengths in their lineup are really just Trout and Shohei. Do we remember that they have Anthony Rendon? They signed him to a big contract right after he won the World Series with the Nationals. You know why we don't remember that? Because he's played.
Sucked.
Are you ready for this? He's played 156 games in 3 seasons. He has not played an entire full season in 3 seasons. Trout has been getting hurt lately. He's getting older, and when the Angels suck, Trout gets a little more hurt. He doesn't want to play. Shohei, can he have a completely healthy year again, pitching and hitting? We will see. He did it last year, but this infield is absolutely horrendous. Jared Walsh, the first baseman, he had a negative WAR last year. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, wins above replacement, that's not good. So their starting rotation, Shohei and Tyler Anderson are kind of their 2 pitchers, and then you got a bunch of wild cards. Sandoval, Suarez, and Reed Detmers. And they had the worst bullpen in the league last year. I don't understand why we think they're going to be 500. Maybe 500 if Rendon, Trout, and Shohei are healthy the entire season. There's a 0% chance of that happening. I'm telling you right now. Okay, I'm done talking about how much I hate the Angels. Kai, what do you got on this team? Anything?
I can almost guarantee the Angels are not going to be good for one main reason, and that's because their manager is Phil Nevin. Phil Nevin is a piece of crap. He started a brawl because Mike Trout was unhappy that Eric Swanson threw a ball high and inside when we were trying to win the game in the ninth. Makes no sense. He's a bad manager. Their owner sucks. They're not going to be good. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. I like that. Weren't they trying to sell the team and they decided not to, or am I thinking of a different team? It was them.
Nope,
Okay.
they did. Yep.
Yeah. Jake, do you have anything positive to say about the Los Angeles Angels at Disneyland?
I love Mike Trout, and I hate him because he's an Angel. But Mike Trout is, like you said, we have a once in a generation player that we've got to watch from the very beginning. He's a Mariner killer. I've seen him hit more balls into the left center field fountain at Angel Stadium than I ever want to see anything ever. But the
Like,
guy's
the little
amazing.
swing, the little hand swing.
Yep.
God.
And it goes 440 every time.
Yeah.
He's just amazing. And the thing that I love about the guy is that he's quiet, right? He's a quiet leader. He's a quiet player. He's not one of these super flashy dudes. But his game just speaks for itself. I love our buddy Kellen sent me a text right before this podcast, and he says it just feels wrong to root for Mike Trout, and I was like, when are you rooting for Mike Trout? He's like, World Baseball Classic, and I was like, oh, that makes complete sense.
Yep.
But he's that guy, you love to hate, right? Like, you love to hate Mike Trout. And the reason you love to hate the guy is because he's so good, right? He's our generation's baseball Tom Brady. He's just been such a good player his entire career, especially against our team, you know what I mean? That you just got to respect the guy for it. It's don't hate the player, hate the game, right? We hate his game because it's so good.
I agree.
That's my positive about them.
He may be the best player of all time when it's all said and done. Hopefully, he can kind of stay healthier to end his career. But I mean, the best player of all time, and they're going to say, "Who was the one team you absolutely crushed more than anybody else?" And it was the Mariners. And what an honor it was. But I'm telling you, like, in 50 to 100 years, guys, Mike Trout is the guy they talk about still. Like, he is that special. He is unbelievable. But Shohei on the other side is like probably better than him right now. I'm gonna be. I mean, he is better than him because he's throwing a 3 ERA while hitting 30, 40 bombs. He is something special. He is the Babe Ruth type player of this generation. And I hated Shohei when he came in because I thought we were gonna get him and we didn't, so I hated him. But when you watch him and see videos of him, like, dude, the guy's a goofball, and he seems like a cool dude. Like, he seems like a nice guy.
Isn't he like a tower too? Like, he's like 6'4", 6'5".
He's tall. Yeah, he's tall. Yeah, I know. Whenever you see him standing by people in the field, they're like, Jesus, you are tall. yeah, he's a stud. But again, it doesn't matter if the rest of your roster sucks, and if your bullpen sucks and your rotation is just average and your infield sucks and you can't stay healthy, this team is going nowhere. Shohei and Mike Trout, it doesn't matter. In baseball, Mike Trout will get 4 at-bats. Maybe he helps you win some games by hitting bombs. Shohei will pitch every 5 days and hit, but that's not enough, guys. You need to have a better lineup. I do like Brandon Drury. I think he's a good little ball player. But over under 81.5 wins, I will have something to say about that later. So anything else? Go ahead.
There's a reason that this team has the longest playoff drought in Major League Baseball right now. And that's because their owner sucks and they gave us Jerry Dipoto. They have not had a winning season since Jerry Dipoto was with the Angels organization.
Yes, true. How about the Albert Pujols 50-year, $2 billion contract that didn't work out? That didn't help either. My God, their hands were tied with money. That was a Dipoto move, though, I think, unfortunately, on that one. Yeah. So thank you, Dipoto. Worked out. All right. Next team. This is an interesting team. I'm excited to talk about it, and it's really kind of the last team because we're going to briefly mention the A's, but not much. The Texas Rangers. I mentioned it in the intro. They are projected to have the biggest jump in wins in the entire American League. 68 wins last year, projected to get 82.5. They did something kind of big in the offseason. They signed a guy named, Jacob DeGrom, I think is his name. He's a decent pitcher. And when I say decent, I mean he is the greatest starting pitcher I have seen in the last decade when healthy. He is unbelievably filthy. look at his career numbers, and it's like laughable. It's like you're playing on rookie mode on MLB The Show. Like, it's just stupid. They added some other pitching too. The Rangers knew they needed pitching. They added starting pitcher Andrew Heaney, starting pitcher Nathan Eovaldi. Are they great pitchers? No, but they will help out. Here's the thing about the Rangers, okay? And this is why you see a big jump. There's a reason for it. 15 and 35 in one-run games last year. 15 and 35. That is insane to me. To me, it's bad luck, and it also shows that your bullpen's not very good. But you don't usually do that 2 years in a row, and I think that's why you see the big jump. I do think it's too big of a jump for the projections. But rotation, real quick. Jacob deGrom, 38 innings pitched in 3 seasons. Let that sink in for a second. He has pitched 38 innings in 3 seasons. He is 34 years old, and he gets a fat contract. These people are GMs. That's their job for a living. Sign me up. I will be a GM. That is the dumbest move ever, unless you are one piece away from winning a World Series. And breaking news, the Rangers are not one piece away from winning a World Series. I just want to vent real quick. That's unbelievable. Martin Perez, he had a good year last year. He never had an ERA lower than 4.5, and he had a 2.89 ERA last season. So can he do it again? We'll see. But John Gray, decent pitcher, 4 ERA guy. Eovaldi, who they just added, he's 33 years old. John Gray, 31. Jacob deGrom, 34. You get what I'm saying? And Martin Perez is also in the 30s. They don't have any young stud pitchers coming up. I don't think this rotation is a strength because deGrom, there's zero chance of him staying healthy. I would put my house on it. Don't tell my wife, but I would. There's zero chance. What do you guys think about this Ranger team? Jake, you got anything?
They did absolutely nothing. So you talked about the stat of the one-run games. Not only does that show that your bullpen's not doing enough, but it's definitely telling you that your offense isn't doing enough. They hit 239 as a team last year, which was 9th in the AL. They didn't do anything to add offense to that team. So you can have all the pitching you want. We were lucky enough to watch a guy. What did they call him? The King, I think is what it was.
Hey, I have his bobblehead right there. What's up?
Yeah. If you give that guy 30 runs throughout his career, he would have 30 more victories. I mean, and that's all it would take, So you can have all the pitching you want, but if you don't score runs, you're not going to win games. So a 239 average for the team for the entire season. You didn't add anybody that shines, in my opinion, that's going to spark that lineup. You got Corey Seager and Simeon up the middle. Great, entertaining guys, but they're your only bats, really. So get past those two guys, and you're not looking at anything that scares me. So that's my 2 cents on them. They did good on the front end with the pitching staff. Didn't do enough to score runs to win them games.
I agree. Kai, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, talking about deGrom and signing with the Rangers, he didn't sign with the Rangers because he thought, oh, this team's going to be a World Series contender soon. He signed with the Rangers because he wants to live in Texas. That's what it is.
His last chance to get money, too, because
exactly.
He's 34 and fully
That's
apart.
true.
Yeah.
Sign with a shitty team and live in Texas sounds pretty good to him. But yeah, I mean, like their starting pitching staff, like you were saying, it's on paper it looks pretty solid, right? But deGrom's not going to stay healthy. I mean, first day of spring training and he already had shoulder soreness, so
I know.
Yeah, and they have some guys in the lineup. I think not great, but like they have a young guy named Josh Young, who's a third baseman, I think, and he actually killed the Mariners towards the end of the season last year when we were fighting to end the drought. We got Kyle Seager's brother on there. He's pretty good. I like Adolis Garcia.
Yeah.
I've always been a Adolis Garcia guy, but I mean, other than that, I mean, they don't scare me. Like I was never scared when we were pitching against them last year, and they really didn't do anything to improve their bullpen. And so, if they want to win those one-run games, they're going to have a good bullpen, and I just don't think they have that.
I agree. You both mentioned Corey Seager. I'm glad he did because I have something on him. I think he could have a sneaky good year. He got unlucky. We're going to go back to BABIP. You ready, Jake? Are you so excited for BABIP stats? All right.
No.
So he, in his career, has a 290 BABIP. So that means batting average with balls in play. Anytime a ball goes in play, his average is 290. Okay? That makes sense so far? We're following? Last year, 242. That is completely unlucky. A lot of that is because of the shift, and he will benefit massively because of the shift. I read something about how much he's going to benefit, like top 5. No shift, more luck. I think he has a much better year. I think Simeon should have a better year also. But they got a few decent pieces. Their lineup is not. You don't look at it and go, "Wow, that's a terrible lineup." But like you said, Kai, there's nothing that just completely scares you. Corey Seager is a pretty good hitter, but other than that, there's not a lot. And let's just say DeGrom's hurt, right? And by the way, I'm not going out on a limb here. Let's just say he gets hurt. Now you're looking at a rotation of what? Martin Perez, 31-year-old John Gray, and a 33-year-old Nathan Eovaldi, who's like, let's see, he's right around 3.84 ERA 3 years in a row. I mean, there's nothing special about this team. I'm not sure why the projection is 82.5. I know they had bad luck in one-run games, but do they have the talent really to turn that around massively? I don't know. So
Not that bullpen.
No, exactly. Yeah, there's no huge pieces in the bullpen. So yeah, you guys got anything else to add about these Texas Rangers?
No.
They're better. I mean, they are getting better and improving. They are not just the doormat of the freaking AL West. But
Unproven.
Correct.
I mean,
speaking of doormat, see what I did there? Welcome in the Oakland A's. The worst team in the majors, the worst stadium in the majors. But they have Billy Bean, right? That's pretty cool. I don't understand. I would hate to be an A's fan, guys. I would just hate it. Anytime you get someone good, you just ship them all off. Matt Chapman, bye. Matt Olson, peace out. And it has been a long list for a very long time. They don't want to pay anybody. And they're coming off their first 100-loss season since 1979. That's how bad they were. But they had big additions, I think, that should really help. They signed Jesus Aguilar, JJ Bleday, and Trevor May. I mean, my goodness. Let's lock it in. 100-win season now. This team freaking sucks. Just let me tell you something real quick. Why I wrote this down, I don't know. Here's what, as an Oakland A's fan, you get to see on opening day, maybe. Lineup. Tony Kemp, Ramon Laureano, Seth Brown, Jesus Aguilar, Jace Peterson, Shea Langoliers, I don't even know, and JJ Bleday, and 2 other guys I don't even know. Pitching rotation, Paul Blackburn, James Caprillion, Drew Rasinski, some guy named Fujami. I don't even know if I said it right. Guys, this team sucks. Blackburn is not a bad pitcher. He's pretty good. I backed him when I did some betting last year. He had a low ERA, but guys, this team is just absolutely horrendous. They suck. They suck, and they really suck. Do you guys have anything to add about this team, even if it's about the organization as a whole? Anything? You got
Go ahead, Kai.
Yeah, they suck really bad. I mean, all those reasons you just said are why the Mariners are going to lose to them like 6 times this year.
Correct. You are correct.
That's fine. Okay, so here's the thing. I have a bet every single year with my buddy who was born in Oakland, and it's that the Mariners will win more games than against the A's, right? So I'm fine with the Mariners losing 6 games because that means that we won 7, so I win the bet. But I don't want to see 6 L's to that fucking team. I'm sorry. I don't.
Agree. I mean, that should be, if you're going 13 games, you got to go 10-3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to. But okay. I say those names on the A's, and I don't really know them. There might be some decent players in there. I know Ramon Laureano's not a bad player. Good outfielder, good arm, decent hitter. There's some pieces, but God, what a dump of a stadium. No fans. I just move already. Holy crap. Move and sign people. Like, spend money. They shouldn't be in the majors. It's just embarrassing how much they don't spend. I know they get lucky sometimes, and a few prospects come up and they have a good year, and then they go down in the dumps. I just don't get it. But whatever. I'm not an A's fan.
So I get to speak last. Here's the devil's advocate side of it. How can you spend money when you're not generating money? So that's the owner's fault, right?
Move.
Just moving isn't going to necessarily make you have people. I mean, I get it. Yes, there's
Vegas.
Potential. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to going to Mariners versus A's games in Vegas, because that would be ridiculous. So
Mhm.
they have to generate some sort of buzz. I mean, if they haven't seen what it did for the Raiders, now you basically have two fan bases coming from out of Oakland and now in Vegas. Um,
Jake, you got to
that's
spend money to make money. You're not going to get fans if you keep having Ramon Laureano as your best player. Like you got to bring in big time players. You just have to.
I mean, sure, I understand the concept, but still, if you're still not generating, even if you bring in one guy, like you said, one guy's not going to make it, right? Because what if it's a starting pitcher? So you have guys show up once every 5 days. What are you
Mhm.
doing for the rest of those 4 days? You know what I mean? I get it. I agree with you. The organization as a whole needs a revamp. Billy Bean, that was a good early 2000s idea. That's not real life anymore, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not. Uh, you can't get away with it in this inflated day and age. And it's sad to see because, the A's are a storied franchise. Them battling the Dodgers in the 80s was one of the coolest things in the world. Dennis Eckersley, you know what I mean? Like so many people that you idolize, the Bash brothers, that sort of thing. It's
Hmm.
really tough to see the organization tank as bad as it is. I don't mind it because I win a bet every single year. So that's pretty fun. But I would like to see them move. I don't care if it's Vegas. I wouldn't care if it's Portland. You know what I mean? Keep them on the West Coast. Keep them in our division. Um, but yeah,
Yep.
they gotta do
Agree.
something different.
Didn't Russell Wilson try to get a team in Portland? Baseball team. That's like one of his main goals. Yep. Russell
Yeah,
Wilson made the podcast.
Ugh.
thought I was done with that guy.
Yeah. The A's. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I agree with everything you're saying, and I think all the Billy Bean stuff, like everybody's doing that, right? Like everybody has the advanced metrics. Everybody, like Billy Bean doesn't have as much of a leg up as he used to on kind of his style and how he did it. But kudos to them, like for not having any money, they've been a more successful franchise than our Mariners. Let's be honest with you guys. Like they've been more successful in the last 10, 20 years than the Mariners without trying. So let's not get confused by the Mariners making the playoffs last year. We have been an absolute abomination of a franchise for a very long time. We've never made the World Series. We got to be honest with ourselves. Now, with that said, sorry for the Mariners hate at the end. I do love me some Mariners. Let's go over our best bets. Let's do it. AL West best bets. I'm going to start because I feel like it's better to start with two winners than end with it. So
How'd
Angels.
Golden State do?
Angels under
Oh,
81
sorry.
and a half. What'd you say?
I said how'd Golden State do? I said sorry.
Wow. I'm making fun of my NBA bet now. Angels under 81 and a half wins plus 100. I'm getting even money to bet a team to go under and do something they've done every year since 2015, and they haven't added anybody. Yeah, that's easy winner. Worst bullpen in the league. I doubt they're much better this year. And there's no way, like I mentioned, that Trout, Shohei, and Rendon all stay healthy because they haven't done it since Rendon joined. And the starting pitching's average, guys. There's just nothing elite about this team except for two players. There's just nothing great about this team. Under 81 and a half wins is a freaking gift. Terrible manager, terrible roster. Sign me up. Bet number one. My final bet is our Seattle Mariners. You ready for this? To win 91 to 96 games this year. What do you think of that? So
Like it, I
instead
like
of
that.
going over the 87 and a half, which I could have done, you're asking why do you do that? That was at minus like 115, guys. I'm getting plus 330 on DraftKings to win 91 to 96 games. It's very possible. If you want, you could probably throw in 97 or more. There's also that. And you lose one of them, you're still making good money because 97 or more is like plus four something. And then you're covered from 91 on. Or if you want to go the one below it, whatever you want to do, it's still guaranteed profit. So I like the Mariners to win 91, 96 games. That would mean 1 to 6 more wins from last season. If you want, you could just do it, like I said, light sprinkle. I do have it here, plus 450 to win 97 or more games. So starting pitchers legit. Young players getting better. Kelenic for MVP. Okay, not quite, but we need Kelenic. That's my second bet. Mariners to win 91 to 96 games is a very exact number and a weird bet to follow, but we're gonna do it. So, Kai, what do you got for best bets for the AL West?
Oh, well, I would like to say something to the fans of Houston. I know what it's like to be a daddy to another team for a decade. I'm a Seahawks fan, and we were the Niners' daddy for 10 years. But all good things must come to an end. Eventually, there's going to be a new, more exciting young team that's on the upcoming that's going to dethrone you. It's going to happen. Nothing stays happy forever. I mean, at least you guys got one championship out of it. With that being said, last year, the Mariners on June 21st had a record of 30-39. After that, they went 61-32. The Astros were 16 games better than the Mariners. I'm not sure what 61-32 record projection would be on pace for, but I got to assume it's pretty close to what the Astros were. The gap is not that big as everyone else thinks it is. The only reason it looks so big is because the Mariners were shit for the first 3 months of the season. We had Jose Ramirez in our bullpen. We had Sergio Romo in our bullpen. We had Drew Steckenrider in our bullpen. We had a whole bunch of guys that most Mariner fans are probably not going to even remember right now. So that's why I am picking the Mariners to win the AL West plus 310. However, Astro fans, I have Hunter Brown winning Rookie of the Year plus 1,000.
Wow. And why do you like Hunter Brown? Just is it the Verlander comparison?
Verlander comp, yep.
Yep. Wow. That was yeah, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Jake, what do you got for best bets?
Well, I can't really follow Who's Your Daddy, but I also took my beloved Mariners at plus 310 to win the division. I feel like over the last however many years, we have just gotten owned by the Astros. I feel like with as young and as talented as we are, they're going to bring some juice to Houston this year. They're going to have that bittersweet taste in their mouth of making it to the playoffs, being, we don't know what would have happened, but we were within strikes, inches, whatever you want to call it, away from taking game one, which would have completely swung the series, but to build off it, right? So I think that taste in their mouth is going to, we're going to beat them. I think we're going to take the season series against them, which is going to give us those few extra wins that we need to overtake them, and win our first division title since 2001. So that's my first bet is division title, Seattle Mariners plus 310. My second best bet is one that I just can't get away from, and that's going to be Mike Trout for MVP. I love the guy. I think he's just such a hard-nosed ball player. He is a 300 average guy every single year. He hits over 30 bombs. I feel personally he's might have lost a step or two on the base paths, but with this new pitch clock stuff going on, I think he might be a 30-30 guy this year. So I think no matter what happens, no matter how you try to pitch him, put him in front of Ohtani, nobody's going to want to pitch to Ohtani. They're going to have to pitch to Trout or Ohtani. He's going to see some pitches. He's going to see more balls in the zone. And we all know what Mike Trout does when the ball's in the zone. It gets hit really, really hard. So Mike Trout for MVP at plus 450, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yes. We're passionate about the AL West, if you can't tell. Jake, I have a question. Who pays when you and Trout go on dates?
Oh, definitely me. I'm the lady. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Wow. Trout lover. And some hate and love on the Astros on that side. I'm just gonna end this. I'm gonna end this podcast with one thing because we know this division is a Mariners Astros division. That's what it is, right? That's what we're battling. Angels and Rangers are decent teams, but they're not competing. Real quick, no explanation needed. Better lineup, Kai. Astros or Mariners?
Astros.
Jake, better lineup.
Astros.
Better starting pitchers this year, not for the future. This year, Kai.
Mariners.
Yeah.
Jake, you think
Yep.
so?
Mariners. Astros got the bullpen.
Okay. You know, that's a tough one to me. I think that's pretty close, though. It sounds like your answers are pretty close, right? Starting pitcher. Because in my opinion, the lineup is the Astros. Starting pitcher, more proven on the Astros, I will say. More upside for the Mariners, though. That's what I'm going to go with. Bullpen, we all agree it's Astros. Even though we're good, it's the Astros right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to check because we all think the Astros have a better lineup. We all think the Astros have a better bullpen and just slightly worse of a pitching rotation. But you guys love the Mariners to win the division, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, got it. It's the young and hungry team versus a team that just won a title and some older players. So, okay, I just wanted to point that out. I don't know what I was getting at there, but I was doing something. I just wanted to see kind of how biased we were. That's all.
We're biased,
That's it.
but we're also logical. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the hard part.
Yeah,
They
it
haven't,
is.
like Kai said, they haven't been dethroned in who knows how long. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously somebody does. It's on the internet somewhere, but it feels like a century. They are good. They're proven. I think Kai said the biggest thing about it during this AL West preview that I think is going to go unnoticed, and that is the leadership of Dusty Baker. I mean, that's a huge plus for those guys. He's proven himself for 50 years in Major League Baseball. He came in as an interim guy, took him deep into the playoffs, and then won a title last year. I mean, that guy is amazing. And that's,
And
I
that
think,
franchise was kind of not in shambles. They just won a title, but like
Yep.
people hated
Yep.
them. They lost Correa. Guys were getting older. Like, how are they going to pull this together? And
Mhm.
Dusty Baker got them all together, and they won another title. And it was impressive. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It really was. So go Mariners, but it is the Astros division to lose until someone dethrones them. That's all we got, guys. That was a lot of fun. AL West preview. All the other divisions are going to be out if they're not already. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure to leave a comment. Ask us any baseball question you have. So until next time, we'll talk to you later.